Good morning to a wonderful, beautiful Monday morning here in the city of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. And this is Daybreak Africa show. My name is Victor Tehemba.
And I am Questa Hundu.
And like we say, you're welcome to the show that kickstarts your day, the show that usher you in to the Monday morning that makes you relax. You know, everybody gets so apprehensive about Monday, that Monday it's a work day, everybody being so serious. But then we come in with Daybreak and make us feel relaxed and then let you understand that Monday is like every other day of the week. You know, it's just that it's the first day of the week and maybe you're just feeling too lazy or too reluctant to, get out of that weekend mood. But we are here to make you feel like yes.
And then especially if your mind or your head doesn't go to for the weekend, then Monday is just another day. Except that some people begin to shut down on Friday and then exactly. Try to restart on Sunday, and then it's difficult on Monday morning.
Monday morning, so just things like that. But anyway, we are here, and there have been a lot of things happening.
Yeah, there.
In around the country, in around the world, and in other African countries. Like over the weekend, we got to know that Egypt became the first African country to record the coronavirus case, confirmed case, not suspected. And then that is Egypt, and they are doing everything possible at the moment to contain and quarantine that person and make sure that it doesn't spread on to other people. But right now, they're also in the search to know where
it came from.
Yes, and where he had been to, people that he might have possibly been in contact with, and stuff like that.
And we're also hoping that now that it has found its way to Africa, or let me not say Africa, to Egypt, it will be contained and not allow it spread, because in Africa mostly we have the spirit of community, the spirit of togetherness, and so you find that maybe in the few places he has been to, he must have interacted with a few other people, and then we can't tell. But we're hoping that it is just one person, and it will be contained from there.
Exactly. And then something coming back home to the Nigerian front, something that's happened in Kano State, where Governor Ganduje appointed a special assistant on street lights in Kano, and that's like the person he appointed was like, the title was Special Advisor on Street Light 3. So it means there had been one, two. Now he's the third person. Probably will be having a third and a fourth, fifth, maybe whatever you.
And the way it works in Nigeria, he's a senior special assistant on street light, and then he would also have his own assistant. So you have an assistant to the senior assistant on street light.
I don't know, like, of all things, I thought that is why sometimes we have assistants or commissioners for infrastructure.
Yes, there's commissioner for works and infrastructure and all that.
Yeah, then we have the commissioner for, or rather, there's an assistant for street lights. You see them say that sometimes people just these politicians just create offices just to compensate people. Perhaps he had been the guy that really worked for him, show support and all of that.
And then when the guy came for compensation, there was really nothing on the list to give him. So let's create something. What can you do? I'm an electrician, so
you just go ahead and monitor street lights where they are supposed to be fuel. They just get fuel in those generators.
And the ones that are using solar panel, what that happens?
Yeah,
you ensure that the sun is hot on them. So
yeah, and then if they are not working, you get contractors to do that, and then that's another money. So money is going to be budgeted for that office, and we don't.
I'm wondering if the state also has a commissioner for works. For some states it's works and housing. For some states it's works and infrastructure.
Yes.
So in this case, I wonder what would be the responsibility of the commissioner on those other on infrastructure like street lights.
You know how this is like. You might have some commissioner of finance, but at the same time you still have a special assistant advisor also on finance. So I think that's just the way those ones just once in a while I just advise the governor, and why the commissioner is there to formulate policies, implement policies, interact with the governor, or executive, or president, what have you. Might go in. And then something else coming from this Boko Haram, and then you see that the factional leader of the dreaded Boko Haram terrorist group, also known as Abubakar Shekau, has warned journalists on BBC Radio, or rather, journalists on BBC Radio Germany, Radio France International, Dande Kura, and national dailies against kind of bad reports about a terrorist group. The Boko Haram leader gave this warning in a fresh video where he said his message is targeted at those who pretend to be Muslims but are not, and warned journalists to be careful in reporting the sect, adding that the terrorist group is not dealing with journalists but doing the work of Allah. Now, what caught me here is it's like they're also worried about fake news.
Yes. exactly.
They are worried about their reputation.
So they're coming out to say this is not exactly how we're doing it. Report us correctly.
Exactly. Don't misquote. Don't say bad things against us. We are not bad. We are just doing the work of Allah.
But they also have their own platform from which they've launched or released some of these videos. So they should also come out and on their own platform and tell their own truth,
their own side of the story.
Their own side of the story.
Then try to coach people how to report their own news.
You're not the one that established these media houses, and you're not paying them. So, well, enough of that. Well, like I always say, there's drama everywhere. Well, the presidency has reacted to his the video. You can recall that in that same video, he said he warned President Muhammadu Buhari about not interfering, about, like you said, people who are not real Muslims and all that. So the personal assistant on social media, Loretta Onoche, has said that threats by the leader of Boko Haram sect, Abubakar Shakaro, shows that Buhari is working. In a post on her Twitter page, Onoche said Buhari-led government was fighting insecurity and crippling Boko Haram. So the presidency, through the special assistant on social media, has come out to say that the fact that the sect leader, Shakaro, is even coming out to make threats and warnings to the presidency shows that the presidency is doing something right, that is in some way threatening to the sect or the terrorist group. That is why they are even coming out to make threats in the first place.
So if that's actually the case, then we would have any reason to maybe at a point in time say the ex-president wasn't doing it, because we know that also in the last administration, this guy also came out and threatened that they are going to make Nigeria a caliphate and all of that. So perhaps maybe they too were okay, or perhaps we can also say that maybe that government were also doing something to
right,
eradicate Boko Haram, and that is why they came out to threaten
make those threats.
Yeah, but then I will agree that yes, we are really doing a lot. And so far so good. They haven't been as strong as they were, or like as
active as they used to be.
As they used to be coming out. Although some people need always bring that argument that no, there's no way it's because the media now don't report exactly what goes on in the north.
But whether the media reports or not, these are happening.
These are happening because
we're seeing them.
We are seeing because even if the media does not report them, but it's happening, we will see we will definitely see. But now, for we not even seeing it in the first place, then it means that a lot have been done.
And the security agencies have also done a lot in curbing this security. Their expansion in some way. There was a time that they made their way as far as Abuja, where they came to the federal capital territory, where they came as far as Nyanya, but in recent times,
they even went as far as Banex.
Banex, yes, Plaza. But in recent times, we've not had any of those issues, and they've not really done so much except for one or two skirmishes here and there. So I think the federal government and the security agencies, especially the military, are doing their bits and curbing this. What do we call it? This demon bedeviling us in the country.
Yeah, and then also on the Bayelsa Supreme Court election, the former governor of Bayelsa State, and who is also the current Minister of State for Petroleum, Dimitri Silva, has vowed to reclaim the stolen mandate of the All Progressive Congress and Bayelsans. Reacting in a statement issued on Sunday by his media advisor, Silva apologized to President Muhammadu Buhari and his wife Asha Buhari for the cancellation of the Leon's inauguration, adding that the legacy team of the ruling party is already exploring the options available to them.
Okay.
Well,
good that he's making a statement, but what drew my attention was the fact that he was apologizing to the president and his wife. I
don't really know why that necessary.
I really want to hold my thoughts on that.
I think that they all knew what happened.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court. I believe that everybody was set and ready. In fact, some people had already flown to Bayelsa to, for the following. I think the recent governor of Bauchi was all there. Bala Mohammed was there in attendance. Then the governor of Oyo State, Makinde, was also there in attendance. And like in less than 24 hours, they were ready to rally land, full the stadium, and get the whole activities going on. I think that was also a plus to them. But then that Bayelsa election, judgment, Supreme Court judgment, it has really put in there, like, really, what are the laid down rules?
Because the procedures getting before elections in the first place.
Yeah, no, and again, because somebody else looked at it and said, right now it's very difficult to even try to understand or analyze the Supreme Court judgment, because at one point in a case that looks so similar, in one instance they will pass judgment based on technicalities. In other times they will judge based on equity and fairness. In another point they will just deliver judgment in another form. But all cases seems to have similarities. Similarities and all of that. And then people wonder, so what exactly are the laid down procedures for giving judgment? Because we know that most judgments, or sometimes courts come to a conclusion based on judgment that were given in the past, and then they rely most less of Supreme Court rely on their previous judgment, unless at a point they feel that that they erred, that the Supreme Court of that time erred in giving that judgment, so now they are trying to make amends. But then that becomes a laid down procedure for them to.
And like we said the other time, the Supreme Court in recent times have come up with some kind of landmark judgments that will now begin to set precedents to judgments in the future. And if care is not taken, we are setting the precedents that may be more harmful to our democracy than helping our democracy. Because we find in situations, just like you mentioned, where in similar cases, the Supreme Court judges would take a different direction, and in similar cases give reasons why they are taking a different direction.
Exactly.
There should be lay down rules, and exactly people should know for this kind of case this is exactly what is going to happen. But I also call to attention the fact that this upon which this case was made was the deputy governor elect, of whom it was claimed that his documents were falsified in 5 different instances. But we would find that there was primaries, party primaries. These party primaries were submitted to the INEC. INEC did their own screening and probably did their own quote-unquote due diligence. And then finally, the elections came in and somebody was elected, only for the Supreme Court to find that the documents were false. So what was it that the parties, INEC, and all the people involved in the processes before election, were they blind to this reality? And how come it was the Supreme Court that finally found out these irregularities?
No, Anna, as a matter of fact, it wasn't even the Supreme Court that found it. It was the opposition party, PDP.
Yes.
And then in this case, it was quite clear. It's like what do you call it? Parties don't take most of these things serious because they know for a fact that INEC themselves don't take them serious. INEC provides a form that asks you to fill in your credentials, and at the end of the form, there is an affidavit you have to swear, and at least an attestation that whatever you are giving here are the true state of event. You go to the Federal High Court to take that oath, and it's stamped by the High Court and signed whatever, by the oath lesson commissioner officer, whatever it is. Now it's expected, it's actually even a crime to lie under oath. And so that is why they ask you to go to the courts to take that oath, so that you will know how serious it is, and then you shouldn't lie. So by the time they take this, parties don't go through that process of, if you're going to look back, when this case came out, there was a clip of the recent APC chairman, Adam Shomele, when he said it is just mere formalities. The screening process is just mere formalities for them, because since they've already gotten their candidates, then there's nothing like screening, whatever. But then these are things that they're supposed to be screening for
and checking out.
Yes, like what is your background? What do you really have the let's requisite qualifications, credentials to really contest the election? If you are saying you're going to bring this, okay, let's see, are they authentic, genuine? Because I don't understand how one person will have 5 different certificates that bore different names. And then when you look at the names given, very few. Maybe the only name that was constant, that was a constant in some of them, was the first name, which was Dejia or something like that. Yes, that was the only one that was basically constant. Every other name was different. So another thing was this. Listen, PDP found out as early as September, and they took the case to court as early as September, right? That should have raised an alarm within the party themselves and say, let us begin to
make some adjustments.
Why are they making this allegation? Do you really have the certificates? Is there something we can do? Okay, can you take out these other certificates and leave just your secondary school certificate? Just leave only one certificate and then let us just go with that. But no, maybe they thought they will always get through to court. I think they got through the High Court, and then they went to the Appeal Court, and then to the Supreme Court. Now, by the time that the Supreme Court gave the judgment, it was already too late. Now, people try to understand that why will you punish the governor-elect for the sins of the deputy governor? But then the law says that for you to be eligible to contest, you must have a running mate, which you are going to run on a joint ticket. Now, at the time that this case was here, it means that the declaration, if you look at the judgment was given in reference to pre-election, not post-election matter.
Yes.
So it means that at that point, they are giving it at that point where maybe if the judgment was given at that point, then they should have had time to substitute candidates. So by now they have invalidated that candidate, the deputy governor. So it means the governor is running solo, and you cannot run solo.
And the constitution doesn't allow you to.
Yeah, so they just clump it together. That means basically your what they call election is nullified, and let's go on.
Despite all the issues, it was really heartbreaking for me, especially considering that the intended day for inauguration was also a Valentine's Day, so it was going to be two celebrations for him. But it turned out that that declaration or that judgment by the Supreme Court just changed everything. Well,
sometimes they say some other people's misfortune are other people's fortunes, and
then the PDP, like you said, took in the shortest notice possible to rally around and make their own celebration.
And then one other thing that caught me there in the whole of this the reaction to this Supreme Court judgment was after the swearing in of the Governor Diri at the moment, the president's media aide, the one we just spoke about recently, Loretta Onoche, came out to say, "Congratulations, Governor Diri, for being sworn as governor of Bayelsa State, and thank you to President Muhammad Buhari for not interfering with the judiciary." Do these people know really what?
Sometimes you cock the gun, you shoot before you realize that you're shooting at yourself.
Really. So anyway, Daybreak Africa, we continue when we go as we go into the African frontier to see what's happening in the African continent in News Across Africa. So this the platform where we give you all of those stuff happening in other parts of the African continent. And when we come back here, we are going to discuss those issues. And then don't forget that you can drop your comments and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and wherever you might want to find yourself or you find more comfortable to use. But now News Across Africa is up next, and then Daybreak Africa continues.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to this segment on News Across Africa on your darling program Daybreak Africa. I am Samuel Akwan. At least 40 people, including 9 soldiers, have been killed in 3 separate incidents in Mali. 31 were killed when gunmen attacked a village in central Mali, burning houses, crops, and livestock. A group of 8 soldiers also died in an ambush, while another was killed during an attack on a military camp in the Gao region. Mali has been blighted by instability since 2012, when an Islamic rebellion broke out in the north. Zimbabwe has announced the imminent repatriation of the human remains of 27 people considered heroes of the country's anti-colonial war after they were taken to Britain in the 1890s and kept in various museums. Gwasira Makoni, who is leading a special committee preparing for the repatriations, said the country's museum and monument department had been talking to museums in the Britain, which have agreed to return the heads of the beheaded heroes. South Africa's announcement that it will open up electricity generation to other players, effectively breaking Eskom monopoly, has been welcomed by many, especially the mining industry, a key sector in Africa's most industrialized economy. President Cyril Ramaphosa, in his annual State of the Nation address, outlined a raft of steps that will allow firms to generate electricity for their own use. He admitted that power cuts in recent months had had a harsh effect on the economy and vowed to rapidly and significantly shore up electricity generation after the debt-saddled ESCOM. In the sprawling Camp Kalmar, refugees displaced by the Darfur conflict are overjoyed by the decisions of Sudan's new authorities to finally deliver President Omar al-Bashir to the International Criminal Court. Bashir, who was deposed in April 2019 following mass protests, has for the past decade flouted International Criminal Court arrest warrant on charges of genocide and war crimes in the ravaged Darfur region of Western Sudan. Sudan's transitional authorities agreed to transfer him to stand trial before the court based in The Hague. That's the much we have for you on news across Africa. Thanks for listening. Daybreak Africa continues in a moment. I am Samuel Akwan.
You're welcome from that break from News Across Africa. We're finding stories from there, from Sudan down to Zimbabwe to South Africa, and that was just a lot happening in the African continent. But that was just a bit of what is really happening on the African continent, and not just more. But then still on the home front, we're talking about, we're having issues about the Lesson border closure, that happened late last year. It has continued. They said that the first phase of the partial border closure was going to end in January 31, and the January 31 has passed, so we are in the 17th day of February. So it means that phase 1 is done with. We are now in phase 2, and we don't know what's going to happen. That's why 6 months after the closure of Nigeria's land borders with its neighbors, the consequences for economic exchanges within the ECOWAS are negative. The integration and trade ministers met in Ouagadougou to make proposals to end the crisis for the heads of state of the ECOWAS.
Yeah, apart from affecting only prohibited products, the closure has also impacted on products approved by the Free Trade Zone. Countries like Ghana, Togo, and Cote d'Ivoire had also been denied access to the Nigerian market for their products. And you recall that as Ghana came out to make I think shortly after the closure, Ghana came out to make an appeal on the government of Nigeria to open the closure. This closure has impacted negatively on the volume of intra-community trade, since more than 80% of its product approved by the trade liberalization scheme in ECOWAS has come to affect directly. It's affected directly by the states, member states. You will recall that there were complaints shortly after the closure that a lot of countries were being affected, not just Nigeria. Nigerians too complained. I think only the Rice Farmers Association came to
and the let's say poultry farmers.
Yes, that season having a few time selling their products, but every other person was complaining in the hike in prices and all. But
then the uneasiness of getting access to most of these things.
And about 6 months after, we've endured it for 6 months.
Yeah,
even though we passed the first phase.
That is just we Nigerians. We always get used to whatever conditions that we get.
Whether we're suffering and smiling, at least
we'll get it. So and I think government all over Nigeria understands that. Look, that these are just the Nigerians. This is the way that we are. So even when you take a policy that is very unpopular with the people, just
give it time.
Just shut yourself out. Just give it time, and then people are going to get used to it. You will see it happened in Lagos presently. People have gotten used to trekking.
The Okada and the
people
Keke
have gotten used to staying long hours at the bus stops waiting for buses and not getting people. So that's why. And other they are actually moving on. Nobody talks about it any longer. Right now, even this border closure, if not for those African countries that are being concerned or whatever, in Nigeria we have totally forgotten about it.
And we moved on.
Telling you.
We've adjusted in prices, we've adjusted in whatever inconveniences that was causing.
And it was this that's a sort of situation that made people say that we aren't done with depression. Recession. Yes. Nigeria, so far so good, are still in recession. What we just found out was like we have found a way to live within that recession as typical
it, yes,
as we are as Nigerians. We have gotten used to it. So now every person is going to adjust their prices. Everybody is going to adjust their spending habit just to fit in that plan. And then once everybody becomes comfortable, then it's okay for government to claim that we are out of recession and whatever. But then we still face the difficulties that we really face during the recession period, because what they call it, inflation is still at less than double digits. Less than prices of goods are still double from whatever you have.
And then it even became more after the increment of VAT from 5 to 7.5%.
Oh, and then that VAT is really affecting everything, including phone call. Your airtime you use for phone call and data was VAT. That has also been increased. In fact, these days when you're making calls, they let you know that VAT is also increasing.
Even after sending an SMS, when your the charge is finally displayed, you find that VAT was increased 7.5%. Well, exactly. And then just like you said, we've adjusted and we're doing well.
Exactly.
They can never push us to the wall. In fact, we should have the spirit of Nigeria. Just like we have a spirit for everything.
Exactly.
There's a spirit of Nigeria.
So, speaking of the coronavirus that has become a worldwide, that has gotten the whole worldwide attention, it has been reported that so far so good, about 1,700 people have died from the coronavirus, and the first death in Europe was recorded, or rather, the lesser number of deaths caused in mainland China by the novel coronavirus codename COVID-19 approached 1,700, while the first death outside Asia was reported Saturday in France. So which means that was like the first time somebody was outside of China. So according to the latest report released on Sunday by the Chinese authorities, the COVID-19 viral phenomenon caused the death of 1,665 people in mainland China, except from Hong Kong and Macau. Most were in Hubei province, the focus of the epidemic that started in December in its capital, Wuhan. Only 4 deaths have been recorded somewhere else in the world, one in the semi-autonomous Chinese territory of Hong Kong, and the other 3 respectively in Japan, the Philippines, and France.
Most recently in France.
Yes, most recently France just happened to be the last one. And then maybe something a little bit on spot before we go to take the news headline card for today. It's going to be in sport, like finally Arsenal secure second Premier League win under Mikel Arteta, and they beat Newcastle 4-0 in a thrilling English Premier League game on Sunday night. And despite playing goalless in that first half, Arsenal dominated proceedings after the break to record the second Premier League win for new manager Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, I think it's well, I'm not a sports fan. I don't follow sports, but in the longest time I've heard fans complain about Arsenal are not doing well, and when I read the news about this win, I was excited for them. Whatever they did to secure these wins, they should keep doing, because I've heard a lot of complaints from fans.
I think both the Man U fans and the Arsenal fans, they are right now in the same boat, facing the same difficulties. Since they changed their managers, they have not really had that stability that they would have wanted, that really existed, in their previous management. When they, like for Arsenal, they thought that as a Wenger leaving would mean that they would begin to win trophies again, because they thought his style, ideology is outdated and all of that. But then since he left, I think that stability, for somebody staying in the club for about 23, 24 years before leaving, that's a huge number of years.
That's adjustments takes a while.
Long time. And then that's what also happened to Man U, and that Man U still hasn't recovered from it. Once what they call him Alex Ferguson left, it seems as if there's no good manager that can come in and really train those boys up to be back to the level that Man U used to be. So Man U now is just an average team at the mid table, and that is what Arsenal too. But it seems to be a little bit better off than Man U anyway.
Not too long ago, we heard Man U was suspended or banned from.
No, that was Manchester City.
Okay, sorry, Manchester City. I told you I didn't know this.
Anyways, let's look at the stories making the headlines today. So we'll see the news headline card for today, and Daybreak Africa continues next. Yep, and that was the headline news making up for today, and a lot is basically happened mostly in the recent political world. And then 16 shops raised in Lagos again. We don't know when these fire incidents are going to stop, if they're going to stop anytime soon.
And the measures to prevent them is what's really bothering, because if you can't prevent them, at least we should have measures in place to quell them before they become
something an issue.
But well,
yeah, and then maybe we always talk about health, and a lot of people are also concerned about the type of skin that they have,
especially within this Harmattan period.
Yes, and within this Harmattan period, I acquired a new sort of body cream that is supposed to make me look shiny.
Is it working?
Well, I don't know if it's working yet, or maybe I still need to use it some
a
more.
little more.
Yes, basically.
Consistency pays. So
yeah, consistency pays. So maybe I'll just keep to it, and then let's see if my skin begins to glow. But then on Healthy Living, we'll be giving you tips on what you should do, how you should take care of your skin to make your skin glow if you really want your skin to glow. So we'll be giving you tips on Healthy Living, and after that, we'll also be giving you words of wisdom from great people who are also less than philosophers, or maybe they're just
ideologists
and whatever you have. So, but then most importantly, for those of you that want your skin to glow, to look fine and fresh, Healthy Living, today's Healthy Living is for you. So Healthy Living on Skin Glow is up next, and Daybreak Africa will continue after them.
Welcome to another interesting episode of Healthy Living. Today I will be talking on how to make your skin glow without spending fortune. Your skin is the definition of wellness, beauty, and your overall outlook. Have you ever seen someone with great skin and just thought they have a lot of money to spend? Well, it is not everyone who has great skin that spends a fortune getting that. Some just have great genes and some are just dedicated to taking care of their skin. You need to know the basics and make sure you stick to them. The best part of this is that you need not do so much or spend so much either. Here are what you need to do. Drink lots of water. Dehydration is one thing that your skin can't deal with. Just like the organs in your body need water for optimum functionality, your skin also needs water. When you drink enough water, your skin looks healthier, moisture, and glows better. Although you need to drink lots of water, you must regulate it because drinking too much water could be fatal. To know how much water you need to take, listen to your body. Your daily routine will also help you to know how much water you need. If you are always out, you will need to take more water than someone who is always indoors. Have a daily skincare routine. Having a daily skincare routine goes a long way in making your skin glow better. You might not be able to afford spa treatments, but you can definitely do this effectively. Exfoliate once or twice a week to remove dead skin scars. Exfoliate once or twice a week to remove dead skin cells. You can use a scrub or a dye scrub, which won't cost you and still give you optimum results. Eat well, eat right. Your skin is majorly based on an inward-outward factor. What you eat actually determines how your outward look is and makes your skin better or otherwise. Eating a very balanced meal every time goes a long way in making your skin healthy and better. Avoid simple sugar like the ones found in soda, pastries, and basically processed foods and junk food. It is better to stick to whole foods and homemade meals. Ensure that you eat good fats like nuts, olive oil, avocado, flaxseed oil. Avoid bad fats like oils high in omega-6, which is totally not good for your overall health. Drink less caffeine, alcohol, and quit smoking. Alcohol and caffeine dehydrate the skin and your body. They have also been linked to an increase in acne. Try to avoid the consumption of these two and completely quit smoking. There is nothing good that comes out of it. Avoid the sun, which you should. Avoid chemical products and stick to natural products. If you can afford normal skincare products, because they are filled with lots of chemical products and that is harmful to your overall skin health. This is because they have chemicals like petroleum and sodium lauryl, sulfate, paraben. Get enough sleep. This one cannot be overemphasized. Sleeping is very good for the skin because the body is regenerating new cells and collagen, which is very good to help have a healthy and glowy skin. Yes, lack of sleep increases your stress hormones, which cause inflammation, and that is definitely not good for not only your skin but your overall health. Therefore, sleep well and rest well. Thanks for watching Healthy Living.
Hi, so you welcome from that break, and there I hope you got tips there on how to keep your body glowing always and never having a dry skin. Like some people do. I know there was a point in time I was having this kind of skin condition that they describe as dry skin. That maybe after taking your bath with sponge, then it begins to itch you and all of that. And so basically, some things were recommended, and then one of them was find a way how to make your skin become oily, sort of.
And then while the report was going on, I noticed that water is highly recommended.
Yes.
And then junk food, like we call it fast food around here, most of which are junk, just letting so much enter our bodies. And sometimes we do not eat to be healthy, we just eat to satisfy our hunger at the moment. So whatever you can grab, pizza, anything around, regardless of what effect it has on your body, just eat something and move on. And then sometimes we don't eat healthy, like I said. We just eat to fill up the system and move on.
Yeah, because we came for survival, not for enjoyment. Let's just eat, survive, and then we'll just talk about the enjoyment later.
But it's also healthy it's also good to be healthy, not just because you want to survive for a long time, not just survive for a few days. So you want to eat what will help you survive for the longest time possible.
All right, and so listen, coming up next is street cred. Yeah. So asking people the difference between a motor and a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay, before we go, what's the difference
between a motor and a car? A car is a very comfortable ride. A motor is gura gura. That's just the difference.
Okay, that's your opinion.
both.
Let's hear the opinions of people on
On the street,
streets.
yes. So let them tell us the difference between a motor and a car.
Can you tell me what's the difference between car and motor?
Car. Okay, like this one that is parked here, this is car. Like all this gura that we see, that is called motor. The rich men drive car, the poor men drive motor.
So do you mean that poor person cannot buy car?
It depends. It depends on your money. And the money you have in your pocket.
You call this one car?
Yeah, this car.
10 years time now,
Okay.
where this really belong to? 10 years time now?
10 years time.
Yes.
Motor. Cause every year, different invention come out.
Auntie, what about you? What do you think?
Nothing, please.
There's many difference.
What are the difference?
We have car that they used to carry big women. We have car that they used to do kabu. You can see cars. You see that one, we call it car. But when you see that red one, you will know that one is a motor. And if you see that other one, that's I go no say na motor be that. Because that's why we have car and motor different.
So do you mean that all these big ones, you cannot call them motor?
No, if you call them motor, like when you see them, you go say this car. But when you see gula come, you call it, yeah, this motor.
Because it's gula, that's why it's the motor.
Because it's gula now. If you enter gula, come on, reach there, waste go pay. But if you enter this one, anywhere you go, waste no go pay. Now if you call and say, yeah, see that car is fine. But when you see gula, you say, car that motor, who pack car? You're gonna say they are different.
The difference between car and motor, like to my understanding, is very simple. And you know the latest car now, like all those big car, like Benz, all those things. You can call them car, but you can't call all those car. You can call that one motor.
The new Benz now, what if it's spoiled? What you call it motor?
When it gets spoiled, you can call it motor.
New Golf, can't you call it car?
No, you can't call it car. To me, I will call it motor. I can't call it car.
So you mean there is difference between car and motor?
Yeah, sure, there's difference. Like example, this one is car. There's difference between car and motor. Sure, to me.
Well. The difference between car and motor.
Yes.
We have small car, anything small, portable. Then when we say car, something that at least convenient for you, that can take you to wherever you are going to and bring you back. The motor, when you say motor, like all this one Araba, this one that's packing people from, let's say, AYA to Maraba or what have you. Like all this small car here, let me push me and push you. That when you own it, you look for another person, please, can you push me? All these are motors, they are not car. Car is a reliable vehicle that can take you to wherever you are going to, bring you back.
What's for example?
Example, maybe let's say like this Camry here, we can call it car because it's convenience. It will not give you problem. It will not give you headache. But the one called motor, somebody must push you. Like let me say, if you go to Kaswandere here now, then you enter this motor, the driver will say, please, can you push it small for me? That is motor, that's not car because it's not reliable. It's not convenient.
What if these people, this one you call car, have issue of pushing? So
they become motor.
The difference between car and motor, this time around, we have Range Rover 219. And we also have Golf 210. So we cannot be able to compare Range Rover 219 with Range Rover 27. Range Rover 290 is more better than Range Rover 27.
So you mean 217 is now motor, 220 is car?
2007 is motor, 290 is car.
As for me, motor and car are the same. Because some people say car and motor is not the same. But as for me, car and motor are the same because all are the same.
Why do you say they are the same?
Because they are doing the same work and the same thing. So some people say this car is beautiful, this car is not beautiful. As for me, all is the same.
But can you say this motor is beautiful?
Yes, I can say motor is beautiful.
The difference between car and motor is very clear now. At least if you own car from the sound and from the engine, you know the difference. And when it's moving itself, man, it will move smoothly. What motor will be making noise, cuckoo.
So from the sound, what if I walk my motor to normal?
There's no way you can work your motor that will become to car now. You say if you know.
What you said car moves smoothly.
Of course.
Is it engine or what situation there?
At least my friend, if you are sleeping now and motor pass, the sound alone self will wake you now. But if you are sleeping now, car pass, you'll still be sleeping and snoring well.
Car is just like Lamborghini, those cars. Why moto? Just like those gura moto. I know.
For example?
For example, this tortoise motor. You know that tortoise motor now, the shape of tortoise now. You know the motor I'm talking about. I don't really know the name, but that is moto. Why car is Lamborghini?
I don't believe all kind of car. I don't know everything car motor. Serious.
So you mean all kind of car, all motor?
I tell you.
Formatic and golf, are they the same thing?
No.
So why do you say all kind of car, all kind of motor?
I don't just know much. But I guess someone no go enter. I guess someone go enter.
So which one no go enter? Like which one no go enter?
The golf now.
Car motor.
I don't enter golf now.
So is it motor or car?
Car now. Sorry, motor. No vest. Golf na motor now.
Okay, formatic is what?
Na car now.
Old formatic and old one.
Old formatic. I know the old one.
270.
270. 70 man a sticker now. But it not to make sense than that.
So that na motor now.
Na motor now, it been a past tense now.
Okay.
Like, let's start from car.
Okay.
Like this motor, as you are seeing here, this is car.
Okay.
It's not motor, but it's a jeep. But if you say like all those motor that when they pass for road, nobody can see road, and when they pass for the rear guard up there, like this you hear different noise. That is motor. This one, when you pass, you don't even know that something passed, or you don't see any smoke. That is car.
Well, do you mean that this one cannot let thereafter turn to motor?
It can turn to motor. When you leave it and spoil, they mean that you bring smooth out, you make noise. That is motor. So we can call it motor. It's still a car, but we can call it motor.
Why would you call it motor?
As it don't spoil, it come out smooth, make noise.
So any car that's spoiled now, it's no longer car. It's not motor.
It's a motor unless you repair it, put it back to a normal car.
A car is a smaller vehicle to use in conveying people, while a motor is bigger. A motor can carry more things like big load, but car is mainly portable, conveying people maybe for private use. But motor can go as far as carrying many luggages. Trailer is being classified as motor because it's at the high side. It's a big vehicle. It carries luggages for one point to another. It can't classify trailer with a car. Car is a smaller vehicle that can easily carry few people. It doesn't carry much load.
That was some really interesting comments from.
Yes, and that I'm just actually happy that some people agreed with me that you know where it is.
But both you and all the people that agreed with you are obviously wrong. But I like the confidence with which people say what they think is right, and that's the information they have.
Yeah.
So are you still standing with your old?
Yes, I think you just want to be very kind of how do I say?
Technical?
No, technical and intellectual in the fact saying that motor, because basically we know that all vehicles, and in fact even the planes will also run on motor, by the way. But then we understand that in Nigeria, in our local parlance, you refer to a car as a car out of respect. So, and then you refer to motor out of
Disrespect.
Yes, disrespect, because it is not worth calling a car. A car comes with respect, like I'm saying.
Okay, now, because for me, I know, down to our context now, I know there are cars, there are vehicles, there are machines, and then there are motors.
Yes.
So, where do we draw the line between a machine, a car, a vehicle?
Also, a machine will always be your bike.
Okay.
So your motor will know the guraguras,
Okay.
the one that are actually. So the thing is like nothing is permanent. What you point to today as a car, tomorrow might also be a motor. So that is it has declined to that state where you can no longer refer to it as a car. In fact, you might even have a Benz C30 whatever that is so good, but later once it starts
having issues,
you now start.
Okay, so we can have a formatic 2020 that is spoiled.
Yeah, that's
graduating
has gone
from
to whatever. So gradually it will graduate from being a vehicle to, it will from being an SUV to being a car, and then
back to being a motor. Okay.
And then next thing you know, they just turn it to towing machine. Towing vehicle rather.
That reminds me, I saw a towing vehicle that was being towed by another towing vehicle. So the tower is being towed.
I'm telling you. And then the funny thing was like some people they drive Forerunner, Toyota Forerunner or business Pathfinder, and they feel so confident that I have a Jeep, an SUV. And at the point, one like, okay, because when you go to like some certain places, like especially where they have these towing vehicles, you find out that most of the towing vehicles are actually that Forerunner or business Pathfinder. So why are you saying you have an SUV and raising your shoulder? When other people are using it to do
the most important thing is that whether it's a vehicle, a car,
you have
or a motor,
you
have something that covers you, shields you from sun and rain and all the elements,
and shortens your distance. Exactly. I get it.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. Whether car or vehicle, let's move on to other forms of street interaction. But this time around, we're going to be considering street business and what happens on the streets. Daybreak Africa continues. Up next is street business.
Waking up every morning trying to make ends meet is one of the core responsibilities of every Nigerian. Roadside business is also a means of sourcing for income. Now I'm on the streets of Abuja to get the views of businessmen and women on the challenges they encounter in their daily business. So stay with us. Hey, give me one caramel chop now. How much you sell them? Make I taste them. Bad tasting.
Any amount.
Okay, let's give me one. Make I taste. This one good. But it's not one. Okay. So I'll go how market now?
Market, we thank God.
Okay, so what are the challenges you face for your market? People they come by so?
Not like before. The market is somehow now. The market is somehow now. But
what way?
Pardon?
What way?
Because it's because of the situation we are. You know, Nigeria now is the about market. Everything just broke. You know.
Well, last year was 2019, yeah. And this is 2020.
So this 2020.
Last year did better than this year.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, with this January market, there is no market like December. But even though the price is not high like that, but people are not coming to the market like before. Okay. Maybe some people have the challenges. When you ask them, they will tell you no money. But if the prices are still okay, it's not high like December on, but people are not coming to buy things like before.
Okay. So comparing 2019 and this 2020, what's actually difference in your business? Is there an improvement?
Yes, there is.
Okay, what sense?
There is market. People are buying market, especially foodstuff now. Yes.
Well, we know like our business is roadside business, but we really thank God because we deal with fruits. And at the same time, you look at it like fruits is very important to our system. We need stuff like fruits to, keeps us, yeah.
So what are the challenges you're actually encountering in your business?
The challenges we face in this business now is sometimes it's seasonal business. Sometimes people feel like taking fruits. People, get interested in, buying fruit at times. But if it's raining season at times, people feel, the weather is cold, doesn't, enable people to, buy fruit.
For your market.
For the enjoy the market, alhamdulillah now, if you move, no the thing problem.
Okay. But this weather, I know say sun they come, Harmattan season.
Yes, if the Harmattan season don't come, I see this your orange, if you made the back it is dry. Small make you put the water, make you know the thing problem again so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that last year, last year na 2019 and this one na 2020.
Yes.
What will be the difference between this year?
Now they different, why? Not be small.
People they come.
Yeah, people they come, why? Not be small.
Okay, people they come buy your things very
yes,
well,
yes,
than last year.
Yes.
Okay, what do you need to talk to the federal government?
Now the federal government they're good and better. Make it, I don't know for their English.
Well, you've heard the views of businessmen and women. Some are of the opinion that their business has been easy from the beginning of January to this present moment, while some are of the opinion that their business has not been moving forward. Well, that's much I have for you today on TBN Business. I am Chiwende Osisiago. Do have a wonderful day.
Yes, even roadside traders have challenges, and you can also just see them there notice or expressing their frustrations, concerns, disappointments, expectations, and sometimes,
I see, apart from businesses or whether it's roadside or wherever it is, there are challenges to life generally. But it's interesting to find that despite the challenges that they face or they say they are facing, they still wake up and forge ahead and are making a living for themselves and even contributing to society in one way or the other. Because you can imagine that these people were not on the street doing business, where would they have been and what sort of trouble they would be causing for the society.
Exactly, and I just totally agree with that. But definitely, despite the challenges, they are still very hopeful that
things will get better.
We turn around and get this better for them. But for now, we'll have to move on to Amazing Africa, where we tell the African story in an amazing way. And today we'll be telling the story of Amazing Africa by giving you some of the 10 best cities, top 10 cities in Africa. And if you're watching this in another African country, you might be very interested to see whether
your country
made some of the top 10. And then when I previewed this clip, like I saw that it was amazing. Like Africa is more beautiful than I thought.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but then I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. So we'll have to take a look at the top 10 most amazing cities in Africa. Then we'll come back, we'll try to discuss it. And don't forget, while watching this, if there's any city in Africa that has been omitted, that you think had been omitted that should make the top 10, let us know what that is. And then don't forget, you can also let us know your own percent or your own definition of the difference between a car and a motor. Or generally, you can drop a comment in whatever issues that concerns you, even if it doesn't really relate to any of these two words, you can still drop your comment. But for now, let's look at the top 10 cities in Africa.
In as much as Africa is perceived as the poorest continent in the world, there are some cities on the continent that would make you want to have a second thought about the general perception. These cities can rub shoulders with some big cities of the world such as Madrid, Rio de Janeiro, Buenos Aires, Paris, and even Tokyo. Let's take a look at the top 10 cities that made the list of top 10 most beautiful cities in Africa. Luanda, Angola. Capital of Africa's second largest oil producer, Luanda, is home to the nation's main seaport and administrative center. In the past decade, this city has achieved the most development among any city in Africa with the help of China International Trust and Investment Corporation (CITIC). Luanda is looking more like a Western country. Agadir, Morocco. Capital of Agadir, Ida Outanen province. Agadir is one of the major urban cities of Morocco. The city has been rebuilt after the 1960 earthquake. It is now Morocco's largest seaside resort, attracting tourists from all over the world. Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, Kenya's largest city and capital, Nairobi, is the most populous city in Eastern Africa, and it is one of the leading cities in Africa both politically and economically. Cape Town, South Africa. Cape Town is famous for its harbour, Table Mountain, and Cape Point. It is the most popular international tourist destination in South Africa. Cairo, Egypt, the home of civilization. Cairo is Egypt's capital and the largest city in the Middle East and second largest in Africa after Lagos. This city was named the world's 24-hour city in 2011 by Badoa, ahead of New York and Paris. Port Louis, Mauritius. The capital city of Mauritius, Port Louis, is one of Africa's main financial centers. This city is mostly overshadowed by its financial hub, tourism, manufacturing sector, and port facilities. This nation's languages include English and French. Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Former capital, richest and largest city in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam is the major city for both business and government in Tanzania. Abuja, Nigeria. Nigeria's capital Abuja was built in the 80s before disposing Lagos as the capital city of the most populous black nation in the world by the administration of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, IBB, in 1991. The city is one of the richest and most expensive in Africa. 2. Tunis, Tunisia. Tunis is both the capital and the largest city of Tunisia. The greater metropolitan area of Tunis, often referred to as Grand Tunis, holds some 2.7 million inhabitants. As the capital city of the country, Tunis is the focus of Tunisian political and administrative life. It is also the center of the country's commercial activity. Johannesburg, South Africa. By population, Johannesburg is the largest and wealthiest city in South Africa. Called Africa's economic powerhouse, this city is also the largest economy of any metropolitan region in sub-Saharan Africa. Africa is beautiful and vast, and it is growing every day.
Thank you. Welcome from that break. Top 10 cities in Africa, and I was really amazed at Rwanda. Rwanda is that beautiful, more than I thought. You know, they were very concerned about plundering in that country, so I thought maybe they wouldn't have enough money to make their country look so beautiful.
I think the leadership of the present leadership of Rwanda has done really well, moving it from.
No, I won't talk about Rwanda. I was talking about Angola, Luanda. Angola.
Oh, okay. I was talking about Rwanda. I thought you meant Rwanda.
Well, I was thinking you guys were talking about Cape Town. So we're all off right now.
Cape Town is also beautiful, but then I was really looking at Rwanda, Tunisia, Egypt were the cities that really caught my. Mauritius, how do you pronounce it?
Mauritius.
Yes, thank you.
And Abuja also made the list.
Yeah,
Abuja made the list.
Lagos did not make the list.
That is.
I know you will have something to say about that. No, Lagos did not make the
list. But that's just mind blowing that Abuja made the list and then Lagos didn't. Yeah, and then Tunis was also another very fantastic city that I saw that really made sense and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a lot of beautiful places in Africa.
The most important thing is Africa is beautiful, and this is not a comprehensive list of the beauty or the expression of beauty in Africa.
It's just 10.
So it's just 10 of it.
Yes, and I agree. that Abuja is also beautiful because of the very fantastic roads and trees planted everywhere.
Oh, that's why Abuja is beautiful.
That's why it's beautiful.
Right.
And like they say, it's expensive. And
Yeah,
it's a nice place to stay.
yeah,
as well.
Abuja is expensive.
But then let's not forget that we have Priscilla here.
She had already introduced herself by,
yes, and I
by
don't
being
know
part
who,
of the conversation.
Yes, and I don't know who asked her to jump the gun.
My God.
And be part of the conversation in adults' conversation.
Okay, I apologize.
Okay. So
I really
you
do.
dropped the mic on that. I'm sure you didn't hear that.
You're welcome, Priscilla.
Thank you. It's a beautiful Monday morning.
And you're looking beautiful yourself as well.
Thank you.
Coming from Victor, it means a lot.
It does.
Alright, so Priscilla, what do we have today on the entertainment channel?
Well, there's so much happening, but two particular stories struck me today because they're both about former baby Nigeria housemates. First off is Nina. So recently, Nina posted pictures on her Instagram. Apparently, she just got married. She did her traditional marriage on Saturday, the 15th of February, and she looked gorgeous, although she had refused to tell us who the groom is, and we are very, very eager to find out who he is. But it's actually very sweet that she's having a traditional marriage and all of that.
But how come she's having a traditional marriage without a groom? Because if there is a groom, we should also see the groom.
Well, she didn't show the picture of it. The thing is, I don't know. Maybe she's just trying to keep him a secret.
Sometimes I try to understand this. I don't understand. As much as I try to understand.
Then you don't understand.
Yeah, it's like I will understand if you decide to keep your whole wedding.
Keep it on the low. Yeah,
it's fantastic. But then
don't give us half of it.
Why would you come out to tell us now that you are getting married? You post pictures and then we are not seeing the groom. Like, are you not proud of the groom? What is the big deal in hiding the groom?
Are you hid the whole wedding in the first place?
Are you going to have a very special
introduction
to unveil
or introduce the groom to us?
It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know what her plan is, but it seems like she just doesn't know. She doesn't want people to know who the groom is. Maybe she doesn't want them to come at the groom or anything. I don't know.
But the groom already knows who he's getting married to. She already knows who she's getting married to and who kind of person she is.
But I think if it were me, I'm going to have an exception to that. But then if they have that understanding that you can go ahead, post our wedding pictures without me, then that is very fine. Because if I'm getting married to you, and I really want the world to know that I'm getting married to you because you're the best person or the best thing that's ever happened to me. And so there's no need keeping me.
The thing is, I feel like very soon we'll find out who the groom is. I mean, they took wedding pictures, didn't they? She has posted half of the wedding pictures. People attended the wedding.
One or two people,
But then you have to understand that
coming from her.
No, you have to understand that sometimes this wedding have that very strict instructions. Pictures don't go out,
or not even taken in the first place.
Not even taken in the first place. Yeah, sometimes they even prevent you from taking those photos so that it doesn't get to be leaked.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
wow, that's great.
You know, if you remember in Simi also, it happened in our wedding. Exactly. It actually happened. And then there's a time we even did this guy's birthday, TV's birthday. They refused before he had a re-event birthday. They refused people from taking pictures. In fact, even the media that were around, we were still warned that these pictures don't get to come out until we have done the main birthday, yes.
Or maybe after the main wedding, like the white wedding.
Then just keep your wedding pictures and give us.
I don't know. I think she's giving us like a sneak peek. You know, she's telling us that
she's trying to let us know that her life is a movie.
Exactly.
Keep you. But I think that is just one thing about being a public figure. Try to get people glued to your brand and all of that. So I think a lot of people are not interested in who is, and I'm very sure there are people who will be coming on every day, refreshing the page, hoping to see her finally post the person. And
except
all
me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What?
Except me.
Let's go. I think I'll just wait for you to come back and tell us who the man is.
Don't worry. I'll make sure I bring that hot scoop when it comes.
Okay.
Still another Baby Ninja housemate. So T-Boss recently went online and she was crying, wailing, screaming, and shouting, saying people have been trolling her daughter, dropping the nastiest comments, saying her daughter is ugly and all. And she was like, why would you just waltz into my comment section and start to say nasty things about my baby? And I don't know, people do crazy things. Like, social media has turned people into some kind of
I think some people live on trolling others on social media, which is also maybe the reason why what's her name? The first one you talked about,
Nina. Maybe that's why she
didn't want to talk about her show of her relationship, maybe for reasons like this. But for crying out loud, this is a baby. Whatever differences you have with T-Boss, her personality and all, this is a baby that has not committed any offense or any crime. So why come at her? She's beautiful, she's ugly. How is that your business?
I was reading a particular book they call the first 100 years of the mafia, and in that I realized that there is something there was this code that this mafia had, that they say sometimes in doing revenge, in trying to pay back in revenge, they won't come at you. They will come at somebody you love or somebody close to you. That hurts more than having direct revenge. So perhaps maybe these people are people that really have these reservations about T-Boss, and then they now saw opportunity in the baby and say, okay, fantastic, we are going to go after the baby. And sometimes people just go there, like some people are not that refined to abide by that rule that if you don't have something nice to say, then better don't say anything at all. They just feel like, to their own opinion, they may be honest about it, that the baby is ugly, and then they just go ahead and just put it out there. Meanwhile, they could have just kept it, don't comment, just walk and pass. Maybe you could just say among your friends, but then again,
the baby is not ugly, the baby is super cute.
Yeah, but like they say,
every
beauty
baby
is less than subjective, and every baby is supposed to be cute. So baby is not supposed, except attitude poyoyo of that kid. But then again, Instagram has a feature where you can off comments on your post.
So I know, but the comments and all are part of the brand and everything.
Yeah, sometimes during that period of World Cup that we missed out of the World Cup and whatever, Judy Gallo, if he's going to post a picture, he off the comment section. He does not want people coming at him because he knows if he posts pictures and whatever, he knew that he missed a very fantastic chance that would have gotten Nigeria through. So he will just post his picture with his caption and off comment because he doesn't want to get all those off comments. So whatever writing you have to say,
keep it to yourself.
There's no opportunity for you to comment on it.
Yeah, but the thing is, for T-Boss, I think for Jude, he consciously knew, okay, people are going to come for me. But T-Boss is just going about her life, posting pictures of her and her cute baby, and she's super happy because according to her, this is like her biggest accomplishment.
Yeah.
So, and then somebody just comes from nowhere and just says your baby's ugly. That's horrible.
Well, and if you know your baby is not ugly, there's no point even coming
I don't know. I
It's
feel like
painful, but it gets at you. But sometimes
because
you just let those things by.
Because if you're just one comment or two comments, you can actually overlook that. But like
when it keeps coming, you'll be like, what did my baby do to the world?
Yeah, sometimes that's what they say.
And I think sometimes coming out to give these people that
response.
Yes,
it's
because
like
coming out to make a live video, crying on the live video, you have really empowered these people. They feel like, okay, so we can really get to these people. Because I believe that if there are other people, they will just delete that picture, maybe repost it this time around and close up comment and then go out and just go about their life.
Or just like you said, ignore
whatever it is
all the comments. But that's like making them feel like they have
sometimes
succeeded.
I really wondered, like celebrities, how do they even manage to sift through those comments? Because I was thinking that if I were a celebrity and I'm coming to my page, I'm seeing like 5,000 comments, I won't have that time.
If I am a celebrity, but if I used to get 5,000 comments, I will not look at more than the first 5.
That's just definitely, and that is just what
the most recent 5.
Yeah,
or the most recent 5.
No, no time, and then again.
But maybe that some people are calling her attention to it. Like
there's no need to respond. Like IG has this feature that if very important people to you comment on your post, those ones that are highlighted, they actually come tops. So you could just read the most important people to you that are very close to you, and then you just move on with your life, and then go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So what next?
That's all.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
You always do this. You just did what Nina did. We're expecting more. We're expecting to see the growth.
And the growth doesn't go.
Then what? Okay. Well.
We are left stranded. That's not fair.
Oh well, that was quite interesting, and that also brings us to the close of today's interesting and beautiful program. Just like you always do, bring some life, even though today was quite short.
It was very short, I must say.
In the absence of Puff Puff, who managed Bond's bread.
and okay.
All right, that was really interesting. Thanks for giving us an update on what's happening with Nina and T-Boss generally. So Victor, what's next?
And no, just what you're saying, and that brings us to the end of Daybreak for today. But then Daybreak Africa is going to come on your screen and on your phone sets tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. bright and early. We would be here with Daybreak, and then don't forget always to leave your comments. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, which also includes Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you find yourself. We are there. Just search Television Nigerian, and then we are going to pop up. And then you follow. But until then, from me, Victor Tehemba, it's a good night, and I'm wishing you to have a very wonderful day ahead.
Victor, it's in the morning.
So did I say afternoon?
You said night.
Okay, good night. Anyway, you might not get to see me on Daybreak until the final, so all
good
good
night.
night. But then have a wonderful day ahead of you.
You know they call things like this?
No.
Skip it.
Okay, skip.
Well, that's all we have for you today on Daybreak Africa. Even though I'm not a host today, I'm a guest, I'm still going to give my own outro. This is Priscilla Ajishala signing out. See you on another amazing, exciting episode of Daybreak Africa.
And I am Quest. I want to see you bright and early tomorrow. Bye-bye.